Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the playing of our national anthem and remain standing for the invocation delivered by the Medical Activity Department Chaplain, Chaplain David Rutkin.
Morning. Please join me in prayer. Gracious Lord, we thank you for allowing us to honor this significant milestone in the lives of these distinguished soldiers and civilian retirees. We pause to recognize the careers, the sacrifices, and the unwavering dedication of Major Leslie Thomas, Master Sergeant Nathan Gooley, Sergeant First Class Latoya Alvarez, Sergeant First Class Michael Wadley, Sergeant First Class Carlos Durden, Sergeant First Class McKinney Sosa, Miss Valerie Bland, and Mr. Tito Rodriguez. We thank you for their many years of faithful service to our Army and our nation. Their commitment has been a shield for our freedom and a source of strength for the many soldiers and staff they have served. As they prepare to transition to a new chapter in their lives, we ask for your blessings upon them and their families. May their past be forever remembered with peace of mind and accomplishment, and their futures filled with health, happiness, and rewarding new journeys. I ask this prayer in Christ's holy name. Amen.
Please be seated. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and distinguished guests. On behalf of Brigadier General Jason Curl and Commander of the Joint Readiness Training Center in Fort Polk, and Command Sergeant Major Horacio Pena, Senior Enlisted Leader of the installation, it is my honor to welcome you to the Fort Polk January Retirement Ceremony. Today, we honor and bid farewell to these exceptional soldiers and civilians who retire after years of dedicated and faithful service to the United States of America. We also recognize their families, whose unwavering support and selfless commitment have been integral to their success and deserve our deepest appreciation. As a token of gratitude, each spouse will receive a flower from AUSA, a certificate of appreciation from the Chief of Staff of the Army, and a letter of appreciation from Brigadier General Curl. Guests accompanying our retirees will also receive an American flag lapel pin, courtesy of Geico. The Joint Readiness Training Center in Fort Polk are honored to host today's ceremony. Representing the Medical Activity Department, the command team of Colonel Patrick Miller and Command Sergeant Major Victor Contreras Jr. will serve as our guest speaker and presenters of awards. Ladies and gentlemen, please turn your attention to the screen and enjoy this brief tribute video honoring our retirees. Ladies and gentlemen, Colonel Patrick Miller.
Brigadier General Curl, Mrs. Curl, Command Sergeant Major Pena, Mr. Lewing, distinguished friends, family, everyone here. It is a packed house. Cool? My name is Colonel Pat Miller, along with Command Sergeant Major Contreras, representing Bayne-Jones Army Community Hospital. And what an absolutely great day today. It is a great day for the Army. It is a great day for our nation. And most importantly, to our brothers and sisters in arms and their families that we're honoring here today, it don't get any better than this. Thank you again for being here today as we pause to do something extremely important and necessary, to reflect, to recognize, and honor service. For 250 years, the United States Army, older than the nation that it defends, has stood watch for the American people. That legacy lives not in dates or history books, but in the men and women that we honor today whose service carried that responsibility forward in their own time and in their own way. Now, it may be cold by Louisiana standards, but as a Buffalo Bills fan, I can promise you this: there is no place I'd rather be than right here, right now. So as a lot of us that have been in a while, been in a minute, and those that are retired in the audience that you know, the closer you get towards the end of your career than the beginning, the more it kind of hits you in the face, the more reality kind of rears its ugly head, right? Like you're getting towards the end of the line. And spending the last day or two with the folks that we're honoring today and their families, it's very powerful. It's very powerful. We don't have enough time, and we're not going to belabor it, but there are some incredible, incredible Army families here to recognize their service member, our brother and sister here today. And so over the next 4 minutes, I hope to do that. First, right up front, we recognize Major Leslie Thomas, who retires after 20 years of dedicated service to our Army. Major Thomas is our chief, or was our chief of primary care at Bayne-Jones Army Community Hospital. She might have seen you as a patient at one point. She led with professionalism, clinical excellence, and strong commitment to patient-centered care. Throughout her career, she's balanced the demands of Army medicine with leadership and service, ensuring soldiers, families, and retirees receive the care they deserve while mentoring those who serve alongside her. Leslie is here with her lovely mom, Ann, who came from Maryland, and her niece, the life of the party, Nova. Nova was wanting to play hide and seek, but I promised her maybe after the ceremony. So she's out reconning some spots right now where to hide. But Major Thomas, awesome career everywhere from started a residency at Womack, at Fort Bragg, Womack Army Medical Center, to Germany, to the Sky Soldiers of the 173rd Hul, Fort Riley, Kuwait, Fort Leavenworth, Fort Polk. You know, been there, done that, and serving our soldiers every step of the way. Next, and behind her, we honor Master Sergeant Nathan Gully and his full team, full squad. After 20 years of service, throughout his career, Master Sergeant Gully served in key leadership roles, including First Sergeant and most recently as Battalion Operations Sergeant, where his experience, judgment, and steady presence were relied upon daily. He's been Fort Knox, Fort Hood, Korea, Polk, Fort McCoy, Fort Leonard Wood, back to Polk, 2 deployments to Afghanistan, as well as overseas tours in Korea and Romania. So reflecting a career that spanned both the early years of the global war on terror, as well as today's operational environment. You can see next to him, he's joined by his lovely wife, Amanda, who is an ICU nurse by trade, but doesn't work at Bayne-Jones yet. But she, the family is primarily from southern Indiana, and they are big Indiana Hoosiers fans. Not sure if you paid attention who won the national championship or not, but you can't talk enough about it. But they're joined, Amanda and Master Sergeant Gully, their son Bradley and Will, Vanessa and her boyfriend Isaiah, Ben, and Micah. Also joining them in the back, their aunt Kitty, cousin Amanda, and her daughter Ellie, his brother Timothy, and then their great friends Drew and Lauren, who came all the way from Louisville, Kentucky. Lauren and Amanda have been friends since childhood. So again, Master Sergeant Gully and the entire clan, thank you, thank you, thank you. Behind them, I want to recognize Sergeant First Class Latoya Alvarez, and the best dressed row in this entire. Hey, Sergeant First Class Alvarez retires after more than 20 years of service. She served as an automated logistical specialist in 92 Alpha. Deployments to Iraq, Romania, most recently as a platoon sergeant. She was known for leading with empathy, caring deeply for soldiers and their families, and never losing sight of the people behind the mission. She's joined today by her awesome husband, Ebar, in the blue, and then their kids, their adorable family, in order, Eric, Malia, Liana, and Ivana. As she begins her next chapter, Sergeant Alvarez looks forward to writing, teaching, traveling, and continuing to serve others while enjoying time with her family in Mississippi. She's been everywhere from Hood, Korea, Fort Bragg, Hawaii, spent time at Camp Shelby, Mississippi, close to home, and ultimately led her back here to Fort Polk. Thank you, Sergeant Alvarez. Sergeant First Class McKinney Sosa, originally from Mililani, on the island of Oahu, in Hawaii. 20 years of service. Served as an operations platoon sergeant with headquarters in Headquarters Company 46th Engineer Battalion. Proudly describes his career that of an airborne sapper. A role that demands technical expertise, physical endurance, and leadership under pressure. Sergeant Sosa is joined with his lovely wife, Rochelle, and their 2 children, Akira and Tiare, who have supported him throughout his 2 decades of service. He's been everywhere from Hawaii, where he was born and raised, to Bliss, Alaska, Fort Benning, and Fort Polk. As he transitions to retirement, Sergeant First Class Sosa looks forward to slowing the pace a little bit, kicking his feet up, hanging out at Waimea Bay, and enjoying the sun and sand. Sergeant Souza, thanks for your leadership. Thanks for everything you've done. Sergeant First Class Carlos Durden, culminating an impressive career as a senior automated logistical specialist, a problem solver, a leader of soldiers, and by his own words, a professional herder of chaos. Sergeant Durden understood that the best part of the Army wasn't rank or title, it was the battle buddies, brothers and sisters who endured the hard days together. His unorthodox leadership style left a lasting impression on his soldiers, who learned because he cared enough to lead differently. He is joined today, get ready for it, by his lovely wife, Jackie, who is one of our B-Jack teammates in the ER. And their kids, Carlani, who's 15, Carlos Jr., who's 13, and then two 12-year-old twins, Cassius and Catalina. Catalina is taller, but Cassius swears he's older. Sergeant Durden is also joined by his brothers, Sergeant First Class retired Amand, and Air Force Master Sergeant retired Timothus, and also his good friend Master Sergeant retired Troy Cox, who is a retired 68 Quebec, leading the METSI over at Joint Base San Antonio now. His mom, Gail, and his father, who's also in attendance with us, Sergeant First Class retired Larry Durden. Sergeant First Class retired Durden is a Vietnam veteran. And I said before, and I think we should all tell him again, welcome home, sir. His grandfather, who also served in World War II. So you see the lineage there. Sergeant Durden, enjoy the day. Sergeant First Class Michael Wadley, dedicated more than 25 years of honorable service to our nation. Serving as a senior supply sergeant, deployed multiple times and was known for mentoring soldiers, shaping future leaders, and influencing more than 100 individuals to raise their right hand and serve through his example. He's been everywhere from Hood, growing up in First Cav, to Riley, to Bragg, to Polk, 3 combat deployments, and he's here with his lovely wife Jordan and their children. Micah, who's 16, Owen, who's 9, and if you see the little baby, the 6-month-old, that's Logan. So Sergeant Wadley, thank you for your service, mentorship, everything you've done as you get ready to move on to attend the RV National Technical Academy. And I love everything about Sergeant First Class Wadley except the fact that he's a Denver Broncos fan. But, we can't be perfect. Yeah. All right, and last but not least, want to recognize we have 2 civilian retirees who, let me get to it. First, Ms. Valerie Bland. Valerie is concluding 26 years of service. Served as a secretary to the Garrison and Civilian Payroll Customer Service Representative here at Fort Polk. Throughout her career, she supported personnel actions related to pay, benefits, and entitlements. And just, 26 years is a long time. She's joined by her awesome husband, Command Sergeant Major retired Jeffrey Bland. Command Sergeant Major retired Bland, 28 and a half years of service, Hool. They got a great story. They met in Germany, and then they have been to Fort Hood, Hawaii, Fort McClellan, Alabama, JBLM, Fort Polk, Korea twice, Fort Bliss, Fort Drum, and Fort Sill. So they have lived the Army life. And arguably, her best attribute, Valerie, she's from Buffalo, New York. Go Bills. And lastly, a lot of you know this man, Sergeant First Class retired Tito Rodriguez, who retires after 40 years of combined service, 20 years in uniform as a retired Sergeant First Class, and then 20 years in civilian service culminating in range ops as our Army range operations technician. Mr. Rodriguez ensured soldiers trained safely and effectively his unmatched knowledge of the training areas, and his steady professionalism directly supported readiness across generations of soldiers. He's joined by his lovely wife, Amy, and their family. Sarah, Cade, and his fiancee, Ashley, Stephanie, and then their granddaughter, Emiliana, and grandson, Wyatt. Is he still crawling on the floor, or you guys secured him? You got him? Okay. He's on the move. So again, appreciate your patience to all today's retirees, military and civilian. Thank you for your service and commitment. Thank you to your families for the sacrifices made quietly and faithfully along the way. For 250 years, the Army has endured because of people like you who showed up, the 1% who raised their right hand and stuck it out. You led with integrity and you made the team better. To close where I began, whether in football or service, success is built on consistency, teamwork, resilience, and heart. You brought all of that to the Army. Congratulations, thank you, best wishes to the road ahead.
Colonel Miller and Command Sergeant Major Contreras are now taking their positions to present our retiring soldiers and families their awards for years of faithful service. And our January retirees are Major Leslie K. Thomas, Major Leslie Thomas. She concludes her distinguished 20-year military career with a legacy of excellence in service to the United States Army. A remarkable officer, her bold leadership and innovative approaches significantly contributed to mission success. Major Leslie Thomas of Bayne-Jones Army Community Hospital Medical Activity Department is hereby awarded the Meritorious Service Medal in recognition of her exceptional service as Chief of Primary Care at Bayne-Jones Army Community Hospital, culminating her distinguished career. She is also presented with a certificate of appreciation signed by the Secretary of the Army, the Chief of Staff of the Army, and the Sergeant Major of the Army. A certificate of retirement signed by the Chief of Staff of the Army, and a retiree lapel pin in honor of her dedicated service. She is also accompanied by her mother, Miss Ann Thomas, and her niece, Nova. After retirement, Major Thomas plans to enjoy her time traveling and collecting new passport stamps without the need to submit a DA-31 in ipse. Within the year, she intends to relocate to Washington, D.C., Maryland, and the Virginia area to be closer to family and transition into a career in the civilian medical field. Major Thomas is now being presented with the United States retirement flag by her mother, Miss Ann Thomas, in recognition of her honorable service. Our nation proudly honors Major Leslie Thomas and her family for their dedicated service to the United States Army. Congratulations on her well-earned retirement. Master Sergeant Nathan Gully. Master Sergeant Nathan Gully. He concludes his distinguished 20-year military career with a legacy of excellence in service to the United States Army. As an exceptional non-commissioned officer, his bold leadership and innovative strategies made a significant impact on mission success. Master Sergeant Nathan Goley, Headquarters and Headquarters Company, 3rd Mobile Brigade Combat Team, 10th Mountain Division. He is hereby awarded the Meritorious Service Medal in recognition of his exemplary service as a First Sergeant from 2022 to 2024 and as a Battalion Operations Sergeant from 2024 to 2026, culminating his distinguished career. He is also presented with a Certificate of Appreciation signed by the Secretary of the Army, the Chief of Staff of the Army, and the Sergeant Major of the Army. A Certificate of Retirement signed by the Chief of Staff of the Army, and a retiree lapel pin in honor of his dedicated service. His wife, Miss Amanda Goley, is presented with a Certificate of Appreciation from the Chief of Staff of the Army, a letter of appreciation from Brigadier General Curl, and a flower in recognition of her support and contributions. He is joined today by his children Bradley, Will, Vanessa, Ben, and Micah. Upon retirement, Master Sergeant Goley shared that his family intends to remain in the local area. He looks forward to pursuing a rewarding career in eastern Texas and southern Louisiana, which will provide him with the opportunity to spend more quality time with his family while enjoying activities like fishing and camping. Master Sergeant Goley is now being presented with the United States retirement flag by his wife, Miss Amanda Goley, in recognition of his honorable service. Our nation proudly honors Master Sergeant Nathan Goley and his family for their dedicated service to the United States Army. Congratulations on his well-deserved retirement. Sergeant First Class Latoya Alvarez. Sergeant First Class Latoya Alvarez. She concludes her distinguished 20-year military career with a legacy of excellence and service to the United States Army. As an exceptional non-commissioned officer, her bold leadership and innovative approaches significantly contributed to mission success. Sergeant First Class Latoya Alvarez, 710th Light Support Battalion, 3rd Mobile Brigade Combat Team, 10th Mountain Division. She is hereby awarded the Meritorious Service Medal in recognition of her outstanding service as a logistics specialist, culminating her distinguished career. She is also presented with a Certificate of Appreciation signed by the Secretary of the Army, the Chief of Staff of the Army, and the Sergeant Major of the Army. A Certificate of Retirement signed by the Chief of Staff of the Army, and a retiree lapel pin in honor of her dedicated service. Her husband, Sergeant First Class Retired Ibar Alvarez, is presented with a Certificate of Appreciation from the Chief of Staff of the Army and a letter of appreciation from Brigadier General Curl, recognizing his support and contributions. She is joined by her daughters, Ivana, Liana, and Malia, along with her son, Eric. Upon retirement, Sergeant First Class Alvarez plans to fully embrace her passions and purpose. She intends to author several books, beginning with a prayer book and a leadership book, and looks forward to traveling globally to teach, inspire, and share those impactful messages. She also looks forward to cherishing a fulfilling life with her husband and 4 children, creating lasting memories together. Sergeant First Class Alvarez envisions her retirement in Mississippi, where she will embrace peace, fulfillment, and a strong sense of community. Professionally, she plans to continue making a meaningful impact by pursuing a career as a licensed financial advisor. Sergeant First Class Alvarez is now being presented with her United States retirement flag by her husband, Sergeant First Class Retired Ibar Alvarez, in honor of her dedicated service. Our nation proudly honors Sergeant First Class Latoya Alvarez and her family for their dedicated service to the United States Army. Congratulations on her well-earned retirement. Sergeant First Class Carlos Durden. Sergeant First Class Carlos Durden. He concludes his distinguished 23-year military career with a legacy of excellence in service to the United States Army. As an exceptional non-commissioned officer, his bold leadership and innovative strategies significantly contributed to mission success. Sergeant First Class Carlos Durden, Operations Group, Joint Readiness Training Center. He is hereby awarded the Meritorious Service Medal in recognition of his outstanding career as a senior automated logistics specialist, exemplifying exceptional problem-solving skills, leadership of soldiers, and the ability to bring order to complexity. He is also presented with a certificate of appreciation signed by the Secretary of the Army, the Chief of Staff of the Army, and the Sergeant Major of the Army, a certificate of retirement signed by the Chief of Staff of the Army, and a retiree lapel pin in honor of his dedicated service. His wife, Miss Jackie Durden, is presented with a certificate of appreciation from the Chief of Staff of the Army, a letter of appreciation from Brigadier General Curl, and a flower in recognition of her unwavering support and contributions. He is joined by his father, Sergeant First Class Retired Larry Durden, his mother, Miss Gail Durden, his eldest brother, Sergeant First Class Retired Amon Durden, and his second eldest brother, Master Sergeant Retired Timotheus Durden. Upon retirement, Sergeant First Class Durden plans to return to Georgia, where he intends to embrace a life of peace and purpose. He looks forward to enjoying restful days, free from the demands of military life, including unexpected physical training tests and the familiar call of "Hey Sarge." Sergeant First Class Durden is now being presented with the United States retirement flag by his parents, Sergeant First Class Retired Larry Durden and Miss Gail Durden, in honor of his dedicated service. Our nation proudly honors Sergeant First Class Carlos Durden and his family for their dedicated service to the United States Army. Congratulations on his well-deserved retirement. Sergeant First Class McKinney Sosa. Sergeant First Class McKinney Sosa. He concludes his distinguished 20-year military career with a legacy of excellence in service to the United States Army. As an outstanding non-commissioned officer, His bold leadership and innovative strategies significantly contributed to mission success. Sergeant First Class McKinney Sosa, 46th Engineer Battalion, 20th Engineer Brigade. He is hereby awarded the Meritorious Service Medal in recognition of his exemplary service, culminating in his role as an airborne sapper. He is also presented with a Certificate of Appreciation signed by the Secretary of the Army, the Chief of Staff of the Army, and the Sergeant Major of the Army. A Certificate of Retirement signed by the Chief of Staff of the Army, and a retiree lapel pin honoring his dedicated service and commitment. His wife, Ms. Rochelle Sosa, is presented with a Certificate of Appreciation from the Chief of Staff of the Army, a letter of appreciation from Brigadier General Curl, and a flower in recognition of her steadfast support and contributions. He is joined today by his children, Akira and Tiare. Following his retirement, Sergeant First Class Sosa expressed his plans to embrace a well-deserved period of relaxation and enjoyment. He shared that he looks forward to spending his days unwinding on the beautiful beaches of Waimea Bay, savoring the tranquility of the ocean while sipping Mai Tais and reflecting on his years of dedicated service. Sergeant First Class Sosa is now being presented with his United States retirement flag by his wife, Ms. Rochelle Sosa, in honor of his dedicated service. Our nation proudly honors Sergeant First Class McKinney Sosa and his family for their dedicated service to the United States Army. Congratulations on his well-earned retirement. Sergeant First Class Michael Wadley. Sergeant First Class Michael Wadley. He concludes his distinguished 25-year military career with a legacy of excellence in service to the United States Army. As an outstanding non-commissioned officer, his bold leadership and innovative strategies significantly contributed to mission success. Sergeant First Class Michael Wadley, 46th Engineer Battalion, 20th Engineer Brigade. He is hereby awarded the Meritorious Service Medal in recognition of his exemplary service, culminating in his role as a Senior Supply Sergeant. He is also presented with a Certificate of Appreciation signed by the Secretary of the Army, the Chief of Staff of the Army, and the Sergeant Major of the Army, a Certificate of Retirement signed by the Chief of Staff of the Army, and a retiree lapel pin honoring his dedicated service and commitment. His wife, Miss Jordan Wadley, is presented with a Certificate of Appreciation from the Chief of Staff of the Army, a letter of appreciation from Brigadier General Curl, and a flower in recognition of her steadfast support and contributions. He is joined today by his children, Mika, Owen, and Logan. Following his retirement, Sergeant First Class Wadley shared that his family intends to remain in the local area as he takes time to thoughtfully explore his next steps in life. In the meantime, he humorously looks forward to embracing his role as Jordan's supportive companion. Sergeant First Class Wadley is now being presented with the United States retirement flag by his son, Micah Wadley, in honor of his distinguished service. Our nation proudly honors Sergeant First Class Michael Wadley and his family for their dedicated service to the United States Army. Congratulations on his well-earned retirement. Miss Valerie Bland. Miss Valerie Bland. Over the past 26 years, Miss Bland has served with distinction as a secretary to the Garrison Commander and as a civilian payroll customer service representative, demonstrating unwavering resilience, professionalism, and a warm sense of humor. She has adeptly managed every regulatory change, software update, and numerous meetings and mandatory in-person training sessions, many of which might have been more efficiently addressed via email. Ms. Bland concludes her distinguished 26-year civilian service career with a stellar reputation for delivering exceptional support to the employees of IMCOM, NETCOM, MIC, and the U.S. Army Western Hemisphere. As a dedicated civil service professional and subject matter expert with unparalleled expertise, she consistently exceeded expectations to ensure the accurate management of employees' pay, benefits, entitlements, and allowances, thereby enabling them to focus on mission success. Ms. Valerie Bland, United States Army Garrison Installation Management Command. She is hereby awarded the Army Meritorious Civilian Service Medal in recognition of her outstanding contributions, culminating in her distinguished service as a financial management specialist. She is accompanied today by her husband, Command Sergeant Major Retired Jeffrey Bland. Following her retirement, Mrs. Bland looks forward to cherishing time with her loved ones and engaging in activities that bring her fulfillment, including fishing, gardening, traveling, and riding her Can-Am motorcycle, because there is nothing like wind therapy. Our nation proudly honors Ms. Valerie Bland and her family for their dedicated service to the United States Army. Congratulations on her well-deserved retirement. Sergeant First Class Retired, Tito Rodriguez. Sergeant First Class Retired, Tito Rodriguez, concludes his career of 40 years of combined federal service with an outstanding reputation for exceptional service to the U.S. Army and the civil service as a professional and subject matter expert. Sergeant First Class Retired, Tito Rodriguez, Assistant Chief of Staff, Range Operations Headquarters, Joint Readiness Training Center. He is hereby awarded the Civilian Service Commendation Medal in recognition of his exemplary contributions, culminating in his distinguished service as an Army Range Operations Technician. He is accompanied today by his wife, Miss Amy Rodriguez, and his children, Sarah, Stephanie, Cade, Melody, and his daughter-in-law, Ashley, along with his 7 granddaughters, 1 grandson, and numerous other family members and friends. Following his retirement, Sergeant First Class Retired Rodriguez and his wife plan to embrace opportunities for travel, spending meaningful time with their children and grandchildren, and create lasting memories with family and friends. They also look forward to deepening their involvement in church activities, enjoying antique shopping, and exploring the natural beauty and rich heritage of our great nation. Our nation proudly honors Sergeant First Class Retired Tito Rodriguez and his family for their dedicated service to the United States Army. Congratulations on his well-earned retirement. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise and honor our retirees with another round of applause and remain standing for the playing of the retirement medley and the Army song. The lyrics are printed in your program. Ladies and gentlemen, please join Brigadier General Curl and the command teams in extending your best wishes to our retirees and their families. Refreshments are available in Ballroom 3. Please join our honorees there and enjoy the rest of your Team Polk Day.